I love how, like, in our BDSM conversation, you mentioned Brene Brown. And like one of my dreams to interview Brene Brown about sexuality one day. That
That
she will be open to vulnerably talk about sexuality.
Yes, that would be so beautiful.
Okay, we got another one. Thank you, Emma. Can you please elaborate on non-sexual BDSM dynamics?
Yeah, so non-sexual BDSM dynamics. Yeah, so that can look like all of the same things that a normal BDSM scene would have, like the bondage, discipline, bossing people around, wacky pokey bindy stuff, but it can be more clothed. So there can be like pants or panties or boxers, or yeah. So sometimes with impact play, like for example with a flogger, it's nice to have more skin, like so like the thuddy parts of the shoulders and the back. So it can be the exact same thing, just there's no like genital touch, there's no like genitals are off, but I'm still whacking someone with a thing, or still, you know, maybe like grabbing someone's face or tying them up, but there's no like overtly sexual touching of genitals, no kissing. Like it can just be playing with the tools in an impact way, but maybe saying things where there's sexual energy present, but there's no actual like overtly sexual, no fucking, no anything like that. So you can do that with like wax play, you can do massage, you can do pretty much everything without a sexual element. It can be boundaried where there's like no pelvic floor region touch. And no kissing and no oral, like all of that can be off the table, and you can still do pretty much everything in BDSM without fucking.
And I'm realizing just in this moment that as you're doing it, you feel turned on and you feel very sexual, and
Yeah.
yet you're not having sex. So there is like hot, it's very hot having
Yeah.
that. And you can come home and be very hungry for your partner.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's another fun thing too is like is the erotic equation from Jack Moran's book, The Erotic Mind, is attraction plus obstacles equals excitement. So sometimes you can have a really juicy BDSM scene with someone you might find sexy, but have those boundaries of that it can't be sexual. And then that just creates all this like intensity and excitement that you can then channel into your primary relationship or into something else, into spoken word, into some creative endeavor. So yeah, that's a fun thing that we can do.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so we have questions now. Questions coming up. I was thinking to wrap up. Okay, let's address these questions. What could you recommend as the first experience of BDSM for BDSM beginners?
Mhm. So my favorite first experience for BDSM beginners, I have a go-to scene for people that are like, I'm totally new, I don't know anything. And it includes like light bondage, so people being tied up like their arms and their legs, and as naked as they want to be, so they can, you know, they can have their boundaries of like not having anything put inside of them, of having panties on or underwear, don't touch my nipples, like no kissing. They can have whatever boundaries they want, but just as much skin as I can possibly get. And then I do different sensation plays. So BDSM essentially is just playing with the senses. Depending on like what tools they might or might not enjoy, I can do like some like scratchy stuff with knives if you know, anxiety might be something that could be hot for them. Where's my other tool? I have like rabbit fur. So like rabbit fur can be really nice and juicy and soft. And then I also, for me, I really love electro play. So no, most people have never experienced electro play, but I really love it. People either generally love or hate electro play, and I love to be able to help people decide which side they're on. If someone experiences it and they're like, no, I don't like that, cool, I have a million other things I can do with them. But I really love to like get people into electro play because there's ways in which you can stack this with other sensation tools that makes it really fun and juicy. You can also do like hot cold stuff, so you could do like wax play in that, or ice and then heat from the breath. So there's a bunch of different ways that we can just enjoy the different sensations of the body. And I also like to, when I'm topping someone in a scene like that, I also like to always remind them to breathe. some people love to hold their breath. And so I'm like, okay, now breathe deeper, breathe deeper. So they can really get into their bodies and like actually feel the sensations that are happening there. And of course, this all goes with like an actual negotiated scene where people can communicate like when I should check in, like what things should I look for that require a check-in, or you can just use the basic safe words of like green, yellow, red. I do different code words instead of green, yellow, red, but that's like a very really good basic for beginners, is just helping people to get in their bodies and feel different sensations, and then making sure that there's always aftercare and check-ins around what did and didn't work for both individuals. One other thing I want to mention with aftercare and checking in is if you notice your partner like does a thing, like maybe for me, this is one of my signs. So if I don't communicate like, hey, this means I'm having a great time, which it does mean, then someone could be like, hey, and just so you know, you like raise your eyebrows a lot. What does that mean for you? And I can say, oh, that means I'm having a really great time. So you can also track for other people's tells, and you can communicate with them of like, oh, I didn't notice that. Like when I'm really enjoying myself, I giggle a lot. Okay, that's something I can communicate in future scenes so that people know when I'm having a great time. And in the same regards, you can search for when someone might be shutting down, and you can tell them what their tells were.
Oh my God. I love how the whole play brings this deeper interaction that like we really like learn stuff about each other. Wow. Wow,
Yeah,
wow, wow.
exactly.
Okay, we have another question. Do you know official psychology opinion about BDSM? I have heard that recently BDSM was confirmed as totally normal if mutually agreed.
I don't know. All I know is stuff from the books I've read for my Somatica training, and from everything I've read, there hasn't been there's not like a psychotherapeutic shaming of BDSM. Most of the books I've found in the psychotherapeutic realm is like people are into kinky stuff to alleviate their guilt, which isn't true. Like I wouldn't say that I like to play with this because I want to alleviate guilt. I play with this because it's fun and I love the sensation. I like fucking with people. I don't feel guilty for using this. I feel pleasure and fun and play. So I don't really trust all the psychotherapeutic books I find, because they like to just try to take everything back to a very like rigid, structured way of trying to view things. And I think that there's so much nuances and so much more variance in why people do things, and it's so bespoke and personal as well. But I think from what I've seen with most things that like it is pretty normal. Like I said, it's mostly based off people who have had a lot of shame or a lot of like power struggles with caretakers. Those are the people that typically find themselves enjoying BDSM, because it feels really healing to have that repetition with agency or repetition with role reversal.
Yeah. So Alexandra is commenting how like they use real wax till they realize there is BDSM wax, which is less painful than real wax.
Yeah, so I've used a couple of different kinds of waxes. There is definitely more like sensual wax where you can like drip and then massage into people. I like beeswax. I use black candles. I have one over there. It's too far for me to grab, but sometimes like you just need to like, let's say I'm pouring it from here and this is too hot, then I just got to pour it from up here. So sometimes it's just a matter of like
Interesting.
where you're pouring it from. If you're pouring it from here, it's going to burn like hell. So you have to be able to like pour it from a little bit further away. And then that won't burn as much. And some people like kind of shame people that doms or tops that test on themselves. I always test on myself because I like to make sure that my toy is going to have the best time ever. And so I will always test wax stuff on myself, or anything on myself. Even this I'll test on myself, just to make sure that like it's at a place where someone isn't going to be like jolted, because like you said, trust is huge. And that is one way in which I build trust with people I play with, is to make sure that I am like precise in the kind of sensation I'm desiring them to feel.
Oh, yeah. So I'm noticing the time flies so quickly, and it feels like 5 minutes, but it's been already 1 hour, almost 1 hour. Jenny, if we want more of you, what scenes are you offering? Tell us, please, where to find you and what do you have on the plate?
Yeah, so I'll type in my Instagram here in the chat, Jenny _ more _ like not at all a creative thing at all. That's just literally my name. My website is jennymore.com. And on Instagram, I'll be releasing at some point in the next like month or two a BDSM online course. So
I can't wait for that. Oh my
I
gosh.
know, I'm so excited. I just have found that there's so many people that are interested and just don't have the right tools to learn how to do it in a way that maximizes pleasure and minimizes the mismatched expectations and disappointment. And that they're all over the United States. And so I wanted to have something online that people can do and use so that people are really getting to those deeper forms of connection and intimacy and pleasure and play. So I'm finally getting that push to create something for online, and I feel really juiced up about offering this. It's literally all of the stuff I've learned since I've been in BDSM, which has been about 10 years. So I'm going to just put it all into an online course, and I'm really excited to offer that.
Yeah. So to know about that, we will learn on Instagram, right? Like you will be sharing when it's coming up.
Definitely, yeah. And then I'm on Facebook too, Jenny Moore. I think my photo is like me on a gate or something, but you can just follow me and connect with me there and message me and let me know how your intimacy world is. I care. I love connecting with people that feel they resonate with me and want to share with me what's been alive for them. So I'd love for y'all, if you feel like you resonated with anything in this talk, to just connect with me there.
Yeah. I will share for people who watch on YouTube, Facebook. I will share all this information under the video, in the description. And then I will share a link to the free communication course for women, which the one I'm hosting. And we are talking about communicating about sex, before sex, during sex, after sex, to just feel comfortable. And we mentioned boundaries a lot of times. I love this because we're really looking deeply in the boundaries. So who's interested, please sign up for that. And Jenny, oh my God, what an amazing treat. I had so much fun and received so much information. I feel like an educated person now and, and looking forward to learn more from you.
Yay. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. It felt so juicy for me too. And I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you. This has been so fun.
Yay.